Welcome to The Guide at Fish North Georgia. Brought to you by these fine sponsors. Spro, working with America's best anglers to design the world's finest fishing tackle. Nichols Lures, handcrafted to perfection. Georgia Blade, makers of premium fishing lures for over 3 decades and home to the Georgia Jig. Crypto Bass, tournament grade, Georgia made. And be sure to visit fishnorthgeorgia.com. Now here's Josh Little.
What's up, guys? Joshua Little here with Fish North Georgia, The Guide. I want to give you a recap from Lake Allatoona on September 3rd. Thursday night, we put in at 6 o'clock and we fished until about 10 o'clock. Water temps ranged anywhere from about 84 to 86 degrees, and water clarity was right at 7 foot to 8 foot. So it's kind of a good thing that the water temps are starting to drop. What you're going to notice is that a lot of the bait fish are going to be starting to be chased back into these coves, into the creeks. Right now, they're right around the reef points, and then also they're going to be right at the mouth of the creek channels. But as it gets a little bit cooler each night, they're going to continue to push those bait fish further back into the pockets. So as you go out, one of the best things you want to do is find some type of bait that is either going to be a great bait imitator as far as like bait fish. One of the things that I like to throw is actually a finesse underspin, and this is the fish head underspin. This is a 3/16 ounce, but the hook on this is a 2/0 hook, and this is a 2.8 inch Kitex. Any natural color, whether it be the electric shad, the gizzard shad, or your pro blue shiner, any of those that are going to imitate the bait fish the best is what you're going to look for. Most of the bait fish you're going to see are actually smaller bait fish. They're right at that 2-inch mark. So when you catch one and they come up, most of the time they're going to spit most of that bait fish out, and you'll notice that all of it is pretty small. They're going to be actively busting on top from time to time, but as you get further into the night, 7 to 8 o'clock range, they start getting a lot more active on top. But if you're out there and you're seeing bait fish on your down scan or your side scan, if you're seeing bait balls up on top, because a lot of times you can actually see the bait just sitting on top of the water, just circling and moving around, and you're not seeing a lot of bait being hit on top of the water, what you can do to get those fish fired up is you can actually throw like a Zara spook. And this is the Super Spook Junior. You'll throw this out there, try to make a fairly long cast. If you're fishing a reef point, one of the things I like to do is I will get on either side of the reef point and cast over and then work it back to me. And I'll kind of switch up how I'm throwing it, whether it just be slowly working it side to side action. You can get them fired up that way, but another good way is work it as fast as you can and just have the spook just jumping all over the place on top of the water. And that is a great way to get those spotted bass just fired up. A lot of times as soon as you start throwing this, as they start coming up, they're going to start slapping at it. Don't pause it. Continue to work that bait, because as soon as you pause it, what it does is it gives them more time to look at the bait and see what it is on the water. So if they hit it and they slap at it and they don't have it, just continue to walk it. That's one thing that I've learned over time, is that the more that I throw this bait, if I slow it down too much, that fish can see it and they're not as interested in it. So just work it and work it pretty fast. This Zara spook is what worked great for us, getting them fired up, because what would happen is they would come up and they'd hit a bait ball on one side of the boat and then the other. And a lot of times it's just out of habit. As one busts up, what you want to do is go over to that bait ball and start throwing over there, and then all of a sudden now it's back where your boat was at. Stay where you're at, get in a good area that you can cover the reef point, so right at the mouth of the creeks going back, that you can cast to most of those areas in there. If it slows down and they're not blowing up as much, take the Zara spook, throw it out there, start working a little bit, see if you can get them fired up. If you can't get them fired up, that's where I kind of switch back to the underspin, work it a little bit, try to see if I can get it down in front of them, get them a little bit more active, because they're going to feed and then they're going to stop, they're going to feed and they're going to stop. It's just part of the process. They're going to chase the bait around. One of the other things, as the topwater bite kind of slowed down, what I like to do is work the banks pretty heavily, or your brush piles, or even your rock pilings up on the banks, or even your reefs, taking it, cast it on one side and then drag it over the other side. And what this is this is just a shaky head. This is a 6-inch, and this is called Red Crawler. And this is a just your normal robo worm and red crawler. It's great to put on a shaky head. A lot of people will throw it on a drop shot. Here lately, I feel that you're going to have a good mix between your drop shot and then also your shaky head. But if you're not familiar or like throwing drop shot, you can still catch them on a shaky head. But if right now is kind of one of the best times to go out there and to catch fish on top water, because they're going to be actively blowing up all throughout the day. It's not going to be a certain time. It's not going to be just, hey, it's here and then it's gone for the rest of the day. It's going to be one of those that all throughout the days they're going to be actively chasing bait further and further back into those coves. And as we transition to that fall weather, that's what they're going to do until they get those fish all the way back to the back of those creek channels. So if you notice the fish start in the next several weeks as they continue, they're no longer on the reef points or they're no longer right at the mouth, just work your way further back into the creek channel and continue to work those areas. So if you guys are headed out to Lake Allatoona, 3 baits that I'm going to tell you to take a top water, Zero Spook, or some type of Sammy walking bait. You can get those from the Fish North Georgia website. Shaky head, take that, of course. You can get a bunch of the shaky heads, just different designs from Fish North Georgia, and then also your underspin. I mean, that by far is my favorite to throw. It's a great bait that you can throw year round and you can catch fish on them. So thank you guys for checking out Fish North Georgia. We'll catch you next time.
Thanks for watching the guide here at Fish North Georgia. Our mission is to build a community of anglers to give you the best and latest information to make your day on the water more successful. Make sure you subscribe to our channel, click the bell so you'll be notified of any future content. Make sure you check us out at fishnorthgeorgia.com, where we carry a large variety of bait manufacturers from here in the North Georgia area. So we appreciate you being part of our community, and we'll see you soon.